the High Court in South Africa has reserved judgment on the Reserve Bank's application to have the Public Protector's remedial action to change its mandate set aside. Now, the court said it would consider the arguments presented and deliver a judgment before August 18th. The SARB opposed the order, which was part of a Public Protector's report released back in June. The report was based on an investigation into the Bankorp bailout during the apartheid era. Now, the Public Protector wants the bank's mandate to be changed to ensure the socio-economic well-being of citizens in the country and to achieve socio-economic transformation. However, the bank has contested the proposal. It argues that it falls outside the Public Protector's powers and that the remedial action breached the separation of powers as it encroached on Parliament's exclusive domain. CGTN Sumitra Naidu joins us in Johannesburg with more on the ongoing case. Now, Sumitra, Reserve Bank Governor Kganyago did say that he doesn't believe the bank's independence is under threat. What are the chances the Public Protector's recommendation is not set aside by the court?
Well, Uche, considering that the judge is taking more time to review these court papers, means that it's not an open and shut case. I suppose we will have to wait until the 18th of August when the judge delivers his judgment. But legal experts, the ones that I've spoken to, believe that there's a very slim or no chance at all that the court may find in favor of the Public Protector, more especially because she has now withdrawn her recommendations to Parliament to amend the Constitution in order to change the mandate of the Reserve Bank. She has also agreed to pay the legal costs of the bank on advice from her legal counsel to back down on this matter. And that was based on the consequences of what she was suggesting. Economically, it would be very dangerous for price stability in the country if the bank abandoned inflation targeting. Having said that, the Public Protector still argues that she made the recommendation in the interest of social well-being, and that while she didn't order Parliament to institute the changes, she believes that a re-look of the SARB's mandate could lead or could have led to an amendment.
Now, Sumitra, we know that many in South Africa, including the Finance Minister, Malusi Gigapa, disagree with her on this issue. Now, has this had any impact on the bank's credibility at all?
I think the only office that has lost credibility in this whole fiasco is the Public Protector's office. The SARB's credibility remains intact. In fact, it's received more of a credibility boost since the recommendations were first made. Governor Lesetja Kganyago has been extremely vocal on this matter, detailing the bank's strengths over the years, the way the bank operates, its independence, its shareholding, really spelling out the importance of the bank in this economy and how it is one of the institutions that has remained concise and consistent in its history. Kganyago took immediate steps in the wake of the recommendations to arrest the changes, which was also considered a strong move to protect the bank, especially in light of the issues of state capture that we're dealing with currently. The bank is also well respected by the ratings agencies. Markets were hit very hard, as we saw once his recommendations came through. The rand fell sharply when the news first broke, as the ratings agencies warned that any interference with the SARB would lead to further downgrades. So I think the credibility of the bank remains intact.
Now, Sumitra, like you mentioned, we did see markets react negatively to this news back then, but in recent days it has scaled to record highs. Traders say this rally is because of a handful of shares not linked to the economy. What are your thoughts on that?
Yes, well, the JSE closed at a new record high this afternoon. It's the best levels we've seen in over 2 years. And it's a bit of a disconnect with the weak economy. But you're right, the gains we're seeing, that we're seeing currently is being driven by outside factors. There's been a host of earnings in the US, mostly positive. We saw better than expected PMI data from China today and from Europe in recent days, all suggesting that the global economy is on an upward trajectory. So that's been lifting sentiment on the JSE. Of course, 80% of the local bourse is foreign owned, and some of the big companies listed have massive international exposure. We've also had some positive earnings locally, but I think the big gains are really on the dual listed stocks. Naspers, for instance, has been the big driver in recent days. It owns media house in South Africa. It also owns MultiChoice, DSTV, but the company has been pushing new highs in recent months, largely as a result of its 33% holding in Tencent. Now, the Chinese gaming and entertainment company posted better than expected earnings earlier this year and is showing solid future growth. So Naspers has gained over 40% on the JSE year to date, and we're seeing a lot of the other big companies, British American Tobacco, Anglos, all doing really well on the market, and that really seems to be lifting the overall JSE. But having said that, we're not too sure how long that momentum is going to be sustained. We are seeing some disappointing news coming through from the ratings agencies, another assessment from Moody's yesterday, which could lead to a further downgrade. So we're not too sure for how long this is going to hold. But for now, it seems like it's a global sentiment that's really pushing the JSE higher at the moment.
Well, as always, many thanks, Sumitra, for those insights. Sumitra Naidu joining us there in Johannesburg.